Hey, everybody, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Way of Life podcast. I'm your host, Gus Holland. Today, I'm going to be using this episode to kind of just tell a little bit about myself. I'm a NASM certified personal trainer. I've played sports all my life, basically, for the most part, football, but also soccer, track and field, etc. A lot of paintball. Since high school, I've trained 1 to 3 people per year for about 7 years. And then I just recently got certified, primarily just to learn more, really. Basically, from birth until about 5 years old, my parents were really into bodybuilding. I remember being dropped off at the local Gold's Gym childcare facility. Or it's not really a facility, it's just a daycare area for kids. And they'd go work out. Sometimes I'd met some of their bodybuilding friends, and so I'd play with some of their kids, either, at the gym or outside of the gym sometimes too. But that was rare because most of the time, my dad would wake up really early, like around 4 or 5, to go work out before he went to work. I'd say that my dad is my major inspiration as far as weight training goes. At his biggest, he was roughly 280 pounds, and he had, I believe, I'm pretty sure, under 10% body fat. But ever since then, I've been super into basically all forms of weight training. I remember when I was a teenager that I had told my dad I wanted to get a lot more serious about my weight training. So when I told him that, he gave me a book written by Tom Platz called it was called Pro Style Bodybuilding. It was written with him and one other guy, I can't remember his name. And Tom Platz was known for having like these crazy quads. They were just like giant. Overall he was massive, and he still is. I follow him on Instagram, and he's a lot older now, but he still looks like he puts in a lot of gym time. Anyways, I probably read that book more than any other book, whether for school, in school or out of school. I just got really into learning about different training methods and philosophies. And yeah, I just read that book a bunch. But I'd say that my main influences for fitness, other than my dad, would be Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tom Platz, and Jackie Chan. Arnold and Jackie Chan, they started in most of the movies around, my young years. And I was just totally mesmerized by them as a kid. Basically, I just wanted to be crazy athletic and strong, and they almost always played a good guy, To me, these 4 men, my dad included, represented like what it means to be a hero, basically. So I looked up to my dad, and I still do. My dad's the one that gave me Tom Platz's book, and that education made me look up to Tom Platz. The action movies that I was watching, basically, showed me how you could be good or do good and still look like really cool while being good, I guess. And so, yeah, I actually got into karate with my parents because of Jackie Chan. That's a whole nother story. But anyways, later down the line, after quitting football in high school, I joined a gym that had opened up nearby in Madisonville. to try to keep lifting because I wasn't allowed to lift in the school gym anymore once I quit football. I wasn't that good at writing workout plans yet, but luckily my dad helped me out with that a lot. I basically told him that I wanted to get big like he was, and he'd write up a split for me and tell me to eat as much as I could. Eat as much as I could that was sensible and healthy, basically work out as much as you want and eat as much healthy food as I can, was what I was told. When I started, I believe in junior high. Yeah, I was like maybe 6th or 7th grade, I guess. No, it was 7th grade. I started lifting and I was like 140 pounds. But over the summer, I went to a summer-long strength training camp. And every morning I'd wake up and I'd eat a small piece of fruit. And I didn't really have any science behind this, but it was mainly just what worked for me, really. But I would wake up, eat a small piece of fruit, drink a little bit of water, and go train up at the school weight room during this camp. We would mainly stick to like high weight for medium to low reps. When you got tired between exercises, I would have to work on knocking out 1,000 crunches per day and over 100 push-ups per day, but I just don't remember how many push-ups. It was over 100. It was maybe like 200 or 300 or something. But after working out, I would drink a protein shake and wait in the cafeteria for my ride. While I waited, I would sip on another protein shake and I'd be reading either a muscle and fitness magazine or that Tom Platz bodybuilding book. Normally, by the time I got home, I would be hungry again. So I'd eat like a late lunch around 1 or 2. And I would just try and eat as much as possible. I remember one time I ate like 12 scrambled eggs with cheese, and my dad was pissed when he got home because I was just like constantly eating too much food. It was kind of like throwing off the groceries, But at the time I also had a bodybuilding.com account. I think I still have it. I'm just not active, but it was to track my progress, and I was pretty active in the forums as well. In hindsight, it was mainly a bunch of gay dudes hitting on me, but I was like, oh, cool, people are noticing my gains. But yeah. Anyways, regardless of that shit, I would use that profile to keep track of my weight, my lifts, and all of my measurements. But back to the guy that ran the training camp. He had 2 different competitions going on. One was to see who gained the most weight, and the other was to see who increased their 1 rep maxes the most, for the major lifts like bench, squat. I forgot what else. It was like power clean, I think, and deadlift, or can't quite remember. But I remember bench and squat was in those included. I know I had gained the most weight because I went from 140 pounds to 170 pounds. And I'm pretty sure I had increased my maxes the most too. I just don't really remember. I maxed out my bench at 315. For some reason I was like, I remember that because I was so concerned at that age with bench. Like, that was my main concern as far as wanting to have a high number of like, a high max number. I think it was just because I've always had a very strong lower body, and I can grow my lower body pretty well. So I think, I don't know. I just I was really focused on that. But I remember asking like quite a bit to my dad, like what his measurements are, like his arms and his, thighs, calves, all that shit. And trying to compare his size to Arnold's, just so I could like imagine what these other famous bodybuilders were like, because I'd only seen my dad and like one or two other guys that were even like that in real life, So, I remembered when I learned that you can't get that big, or like you can't get that big and as jacked without taking steroids. But when I learned that, when I found that out, I was pretty crushed, because I wasn't told anything about steroids except that they were bad, and I didn't want, in my head, I didn't want to do bad things to my body. So I was like, well, shit, I may never get that big then, and like, at the time I kind of felt, I was just real disappointed, because I thought maybe like I don't know, was that kind of a waste of time? I mean, it's never really a waste of time, like if you're increasing your health and fitness and everything, but to have that like idea in your head and then it not really work out the way you had in mind, I guess. But right now I'm sitting at about 230 pounds, but I've gained a bit too much body fat for my liking, so I'm working on cutting that off right now. I think overall I'd be happy being like 215 pounds with about, roughly like 12% body fat, but natural, My main thing with the lifting is just that I just enjoy it so much. I can just go in there and have a general idea of how I want my day to go. Like if I'm targeting legs, I'll just have an idea in my head of, I'm going to do this, and this, and I'm going to take a, small break and, whatever. But, I don't go to that great of a gym. So sometimes all of the equipment I want to use is like taken. And by taken, it's not like, oh, it's temporary. Like it's a set. It's like, no, there's like a group of guys waiting around for that one. Like they have one leg press most of the time. And I mean that because like one kind of stays broken or whatever, and it doesn't go up. It's more of a machine pulley system, so you can't really put a crazy amount of weight on it. So a lot of the stuff is taken. So basically what I was trying to explain is if that happens, I always have multiple plans floating around, so I go into the gym and I just know a general concept of what I want to be accomplished. And some days it works out great, and other days you just got to kind of improvise or whatever. I know a lot of people dread the gym, but I mean, if you have a scattered workout plan just to have like fun so you can fucking show up, then do that. Like I'd rather you or me show up and do something for yourself than like not show up at all. I guess I kind of do it as a meditation, or not a meditation, but therapy is not really the right word for it either. But I don't know. I get completely zoned out in my head where I'm just like solely focused on the workout, no matter how loud the music is playing. Basically, it's, I'm like on a mission, basically. So, as corny as it sounds, this is my way of life. Thanks for tuning in to the first episode. We're going to be coming out. I'm going to be coming out with episodes once a week. If you want to email me, it is wayoflifepodcast@gmail.com. It's WHEY, like the protein. Other than that, you can follow me on my personal Instagram at Gus Holland. It's GUSSHOLLAND. You can also follow the podcast at Way of Life Podcast. Yeah, well, I guess I'll talk to y'all next Wednesday. Thank you.